People of the internet, is Joe Rogan in a cult? Better yet, is Joe Rogan in the cult of Scientology?
That's the sound of the police.
Well, that's what we're here to figure out today. In the video, Joe Rogan exposed himself by Retroactive. So grab your coffee, grab your joint. Here we go.
Yeah.
Who do we know that's Scientologists?
We know a few.
Who?
Well,
Joe. Ooh, you're not supposed to say that.
but who does?
No, I don't want to be a Scientologist. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't want to do it.
No,
I don't give a fuck if Joe...
So I found these two clips recently, and while they are really weird and do lead to questions, they don't prove anything on their own. And Joe, while having a lot of ex-sci-fi lunacy members on, has been very anti their establishment publicly. Well, for the most part.
You ever drive by a Scientology building? I drove by it last night. Like, oh,
I got the test once.
I want in there.
I got the test. And you go and you hold on to these cans and they ask you questions.
See, you think he might be playing around, but you got to be pretty dumb to get to the test. If you got past their little speech, their little bullshit, and you're sitting in the room with the cans in your hands, you got to be saying to yourself, I'm one dumb ass motherfucker, right? That's just how it is. So if Joe is dumb enough to hold the cans, Joe's probably dumb enough that he's in it. I'm just benefit of the doubt. I just think he's a dumb guy. And I think dumb people fall for this stuff. Because you can't have any kind of connection with the world and like an honest like connection with the world and fall for this shit. This shit is crazy. They're talking about aliens and spaceships and stuff. Granted, there could be aliens, but right here, we don't fuck with that shit. We're humans. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, am I wrong? You could say I'm being mean, but shit, I think I'm being honest.
I want to say Brian did stand up in there. Someone asked him to go up there and do. I either did stand up or like a TED talk or some shit in a Scientology building.
Really?
Yeah, he did something weird in there.
TED talk.
Yeah, he did something weird.
Buying their teachings and being contacted by them for years. That's a bit strange. While controlled opposition sounds a bit over the top, it would be a good cover to not be considered part of them. Whoever them is. This time it's relevant as there really isn't any comedians known as big science. Nancy Cartwright or Tom Cruise don't need a comedian's image of relatability, so they're more public. Maybe, who knows, just speculation as there isn't enough to say either way.
Every week I got some new workshop to go to or this. I just piles
So they're just
and
mailing,
piles
this
of
is just
mail.
mailer.
Like it bothered me that I was on a list. I was on a list of someone who bought the book but didn't go to any classes and they knew where I was. Like maybe I could get him. If we just knock on his door, come on, we've got the solution.
Like Tom wasn't that young when
He was
got into
very
it, is he?
young. He was very
That's
young.
how they get him. And John Travolta.
Well, I think people want something that makes it. Look, I bought the book. I bought Dianetics.
Yeah, me too.
I bought it through a late night ad.
bought it?
1994, son. Pre-internet. I was at home,
See?
chilling in my apartment in North Hollywood, and I was like, "Damn, this sounds like they're making a lot of sense here."
Wow.
Yeah,
And it does make sense.
Volcano, the lava.
Dude,
God.
Hey, look, say what you want about Brendan Schaub, but Brendan Schaub caught on when Joe and Brian didn't. Joe, look at Brian's back there like, I bought Dianetics and the 6 other courses they asked me afterwards, and I go every Saturday. Brian back there, old Simpy Cal.
Damn it, Joe. Promoting their system as helpful is not helping right now.
Oh,
You
fuck
weren't
yeah.
all the way in.
No, I never went.
we never thought
Join.
that. We never.
Then we have The Birth by Rogan.
Wait, we're missing something. So they must have done this shit together. Wait, is that why Brian is just a sack of no talent piece of shit. And I've always wondered why Joe kept him around. The Scientology link makes sense. It would totally make sense if Brian is the official dick sucker of Joe Rogan in the Scientology cult. That would make total sense.
Bert Kreischer, Bert's lawyer father, even ended up working for the good church after he won against them in court. Pretty funny that Bert's comedy stories of stealing from Papa could have potentially been those same funds. Bertie's just one in a long line of comedians who started from the bottom, roughing it out as affluent children.
A lot of my ex-girlfriend, her acting class was a Scientology-based acting class, and apparently it's really common.
Then I see Too Lazy to Try catch the Jared Leto.
I mean, he's dating Scientologists. His friend Brian and him are doing Scientology things. Like, what are we doing here, folks? Could Joe Rogan have pulled the greatest con on humanity of all time? And this whole time, he's fucking L. Ron Hubbard. They say Tim Dillon, or who is it? Oh yeah, Alex Jones. You know, they think he's somebody else, Bill Hicks, right? But I could see a little L. Ron and Joe. Should we start that one? I can make a real shit film to make my point.
Cult defending Joe Rogan did to Tim Dillon of all people, and damn, it's just like Whitney Cummings getting with Chris Cole after publicly denouncing Chris D'Elia forever. Joe did the same to D'Elia and is now defending Jared Leto. Please make it make sense.
Doesn't he have a whole cult?
Yeah, like Chris Cole doesn't really have a good reputation in the skate scene. And I could tell you, so I quit skating probably in 2010, 2011. I just didn't want to get hurt anymore. I had broken so many things, and I was getting to the point where I was like getting close to finishing college, and I needed it. So I was like, I can't waste every day skating anymore. But I remember back then, like, there would always be like pros rolling through town, and a lot of my friends some were pros. I would tell you, one of my friends is a massive pro now, like massive. And if you skate, you'd know who he is. It's crazy. It's crazy that he came from where I came from. It's crazy. But, yeah. And so pros would come through town, and like Chris Cole came through town, but he always had drama with women, and not like, oh, he's just a hoe. He puts it on me good, and I'm mad that he's with another girl tonight. Not like that kind of shit. Like he's just a player, but like fucked up, you know? And like there were stories back in the early 2000s about that dude. And Whitney Cummings, you know, dude, Whitney Cummings is that girl. That girl is a ball of soup, dog. A ball of soup. You don't want to fuck with that.
Shh. Okay.
He's a good guy. The nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood, and you're like, come on.
No,
it's
it's a voluntary cult.
It's not even voluntary cult. It's just they get together and dance or something.
Have you met Jared Leto?
I briefly, yeah.
One of the most interesting guys I've ever talked
Incredible, and it makes total sense.
Totally normal, like really fun to talk to.
Don't forget the beads.
What did you say?
Yeah.
No beads.
Jared Leto, is he too weird to hang out with?
He brought me to my first club when I guess I was 14. I was
Out on the furries.
Yeah, he was making out with her too. Have you seen the stuff on Jared Leto? Jared Leto's crazy. I'll tell you something. I feel like did I watch it? I felt like I was going to do a film on Jared Leto. I wanted to do a video. You know, I know if I don't do comedy, people, but look, there's so much out there. You let me know. Jared Leto, the Jared Leto one's crazy. And I'll tell you about Jared Leto. I remember there was this rock climbing thing. Jared Leto got into rock climbing, and I don't know who it was. It might have been Tommy Caldwell, or it was either Tommy Caldwell or Alex Honnold, I think. Or maybe he climbed with a different climber, but I think I watched one of those guys. It doesn't matter, but it would if you're in the climbing world. Anyways, doesn't matter. But he was with these guys, and he had that dyed white hair, and he was just acting like he was just like floating on water, and everybody lived to serve him. And like all of the shit he said was trying to be some like fucking Confucius quote, you know? It's crazy. It was just crazy. He was just acting holier than thou. And I was like, what is this dude on? Because I don't know much about Jared Leto. I mean, do I even watch Jared Leto movies? Probably not, you know? I really don't know much about Jared Leto. Probably the biggest thing is the 30 Seconds to Mars song. Like, yeah, carry me, yeah. Like that fucking Suicide Ender song right there. Anyways, yeah, so like that was my vibes, and that was a couple years ago. I watched that thing, maybe even longer, but I remember watching it and like, what is he on? And then I saw the thing. It's the same thing. He does the same thing of Russell Brand. He thinks he's hot shit, and then like on interviews, he's like, yo, I was just thinking about my cock. I bet you'd like to know how big it is. You know, like he does shit like that where he just, I feel like I'm so hot and so sexual, I just have to give it to everybody. You know? And those people are fucking weird because they're gross.
So too, I mean, as Joe said, Jared Leto is not a criminal and a very good man. Nothing to see here, please. This has the same energy as Chris D'Elia defending Drake and not being a Kendrick fan, for no particular reason, of course. For Joe, the crusader against conspiracies like old Jeffrey on the island, to now be suckling up to Leto. What in the between Jared admitting to these insane gifts and that clip there from Howard Stern, really showing the Hollywood trauma special. It's a great place, really. Just ask Justin. He's aligning back with what allowed him to escape regular jobs, which was Joe Rogan's true biggest fear, ironically, as he spoke about the news radio role removing his financial stress for good.
Because my stepdad's an architect, I got a lot of jobs on construction sites. And man, did I learn about like real work, like hard work, like labor work.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how the comedy creator scene has like shifted, because when I was doing some of these films on some of this crazy shit these guys do, I was getting punished right away by YouTube. Like, it was crazy. But like, people didn't want to, I couldn't believe why nobody had talked about a lot of this shit before. But I'm like glad to see that all these guys are like, fuck that. Especially Retroactive. Retroactive's been going in on these fellers.
Work. And that taught me that I don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah. Dev deal with NBC signed in around 95. Joe might be a little more owned by the machine than we think.
Tell me he sent people used condoms.
Yeah, he sent used condoms.
That's Jared Leto. This is Jared Leto.
Not a fucking government agent.
I'm not saying
Jared
he is, but he lives in Lookout Mountain Laboratory. He bought it too, bro.
Just be close with Joe like Brian Callen or Joey Diaz, greatest comedian of all time, and you'll get a pass. Just as Jared Leto is getting now. Here he is to explain to us all how the industry really works so we can, for once, solve this mystery.
Yeah, you gotta stick my get up in the belly room. I'm making a call for you. That's the gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them. I had this beautiful. And when she left, she had dirty nails were dirty. And then a year later, she wrote me a letter to the Comedy Store. You broke me. I kept shooting sperm balls.
So comedy channels, I've done all the work for you. All right, I've done all the work. We've seen this clip a million times. I've done all the work for you. There's more. There's a video, I think, from probably like September, October, maybe November. No, probably September. And it's about Joey Diaz. It's called like The Predator of Comedy or something like that. And it has Joey Diaz's face right on it. And it has a lot of things that Joey Diaz says. So please feel free to get a new quote. Everybody's played this one to death. And there's more. I'm just letting you guys know. Because this was just on another video that I watched. And I just want to let you know, this ain't the only one.
Oh, right. I mean, is the entire industry hidden? It'd be great if I could say no, but it isn't a no, is it? Allegedly, of course. What a charming fella. No wonder Joseph ended up in films. He'd fit right in on set. Speak of the devil and he'll appear on the JRE. Just like his last appearance when we had a weird, silent, awkward moment upon mention of Diddy from Joe. This time it's Joey exploding out of nowhere about how he doesn't care about Diddy and Epstein as it has nothing to do with him.
That shit doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck who's on the Epstein list. I don't give a fuck who went to Diddy's house. It's got nothing to do with me. But in today's world, because of the internet, it makes us think it's got something to do with us. We're not involved in them. I was never at Diddy's party. I don't even know.
Yeah, he definitely left LA around.
The thing is with the whole, what Joey Diaz is saying is like, under normal circumstances for normal people, that's true. Like, really, if you look at it, all this drama, all these things that go, they don't matter to us, right? All, like, in the grand scheme of things, you could totally say that. But the problem is, as you're saying that about sexual offenders, when you too are also accused of being a predator, so you, by saying, oh, I don't care, if I would say it, like, I don't do that stuff, like, at the end of the day, I could be like, who cares? But you saying that, it looks like you're trying to dismiss them so people don't dismiss you. And that's that dismiss you. And that's an old tactic to try and cover stuff out, is play down a similar offense as yours get people to like not really care too much about it, and then they'll be like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's like just like this, you know. That's how he's trying to do it.
Around the time Chris D'Elia and Brian Callen got cancelled for completely unrelated reasons.
How is it going to make a difference in your world if Tom Hanks is on that list?
I'll tell you.
Do you not have to go to work tomorrow? Do you have to do all the same shit?
Yes, it doesn't affect people's lives now if the truth is revealed, but that is a terrible argument. People are going to care about tons of famous people doing many horrible things, and will want it to stop. He brings up Kennedy too, like it isn't interesting to have further confirmation.
Here's the reality. They'll care about horrible things. Some things like Epstein and Diddy, they catch on and go forever. But like really, the media knows this is like the news cycle, you know, give it 3 days and people will be on to something else. Like that's why a lot of this keeps going on, because most of it just like people are mad for a second and then it's on to being mad about the next thing. You can only milk something for so long, and then every once in a while you get an Epstein or a Weinstein or a Diddy, you know? And those guys, but it's because they're like, if you were to give them like a category, they're like the serial killers of, you know, the pedophile world or whatever you want to call them. You know, they're like that level. They're like top horrific level, you know? And so those guys just, they kind of go on, and people, and plus there's so much corruption and stuff behind like Diddy and Epstein, and all these people are connected that it's just so big that people want, like, they don't forget about that one, you know? Anyways, that's just how it goes.
Much of what we're told is not the truth. Knowing the reality of the world around us can never be a bad thing, unless that reality implicates you. Joey's a model citizen post-serving time for kidnapping, and he'd never...
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them.
Yeah. God damn it, shut up, Joey. Well, maybe ammonia can get that image out of my head.
Here we go. Yeah. Them fresh ones. Oh my goodness.
I gotta get the right side.
Are we giving ourselves brain damage or what?
Hopefully.
Let's find out about that.
If you're stuck in a room that was filled with ammonia gas, you would get lung toxicity. Potentially, you get airway injury. You could potentially die. But breathing this stuff in a few times over a few hours isn't really going to lead to any significant complications. Oh, okay. So we don't have to worry. There's no way we could worry because those powerlifter guys, they've been doing it forever.
Oh, yes, power.
You know, it's crazy. Joe Rogan just looks so dumb right there. Oh man. You know, hey, a good con's a good con, fellers. You know, you may not like it, but they get you. They get you, and then when it's all said and done and you're looking at it, you're like, God damn. I was so stupid. I don't want to let nobody know how stupid I was, but yo, that was some next level stupid for believing that shit. That's how it is with Joe Rogan. You know, it's just crazy because he came at you at a desperate time, you know? You look at the last 2 decades, right? It was crazy. You had 2008, you know, all the craziness and like people recovering from that. And then, you know, we had two wars that have been going on for a long time and are kind of coming to the head. You have the political people getting upset after 2008. The political environment is just bubbling up. People are mad. People just claim bankruptcy, lost their homes. And then Donald Trump, like his first election kind of just created this huge political divide, and everything is just exploding once he gets into office. And then COVID just came and basically neutered everybody and just put them on their knees and like, what? And you got Joe Rogan, just man in the middle, you know, just man in the middle. God, dude, they are these humans that do this kind of stuff, that act so slick, that pull the wool over your eyes and steal from you. They're the worst type of humans.
Lifters, stereotypically the longest living people in society. How is this man a more plates, more dates viewer, and he doesn't know. Anyway, good one, Joseph. An unintentional joke right there, finally. Haha. And that's great. Spike in usage due to the Joe Rogan experience, spreading brain damage far and wide.
Overuse may damage nasal passages or lungs.
Oh, well, that's not good.
What does it do?
What's overuse? Overuse can damage nasal passage. I don't think it's getting to my lungs.
I don't think it's getting to my
lungs.
The timing to say lungs wrong, holy hell, God has a better sense of humor than Rogan, that's for sure.
Renewed interest may have come after the appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oops.
Yeah, people blast themselves.
That's hilarious.
This shit.
Jesus of Christ, that's his most lung-busted fake laugh to date. What even happened there? Joe has not done this a few times for a few hours either. This is probably the 1,000th time, maybe 100th time on camera, let alone any sneak sniffs he takes. And then in the last minute of Joey's episode, we get the perfect segue back to Jared Leto.
Joey, I got good news and bad news. Good news is you're going to be on The Sopranos. Bad news is you got to fuck a guy.
And you got to swap spit with him.
You got to swap spit on camera. Yeah. You have to be like a Jared Leto type dude to pull that off.
The horrible Santa Claus cult figure who excuses his behavior behind method acting or celebrity adoration allegedly. Who wants some used condoms, toys, or live rats? Fellow cast members, cause yeah, he actually did that. But Joseph Rowe really loves his new friend Jared. It's just like Mark Zuckerberg going from weird alien guy we make.
Jared Leto too also has a bunch of clips like Russell Brand of being a freaky deaky, creepy motherfucker on camera. You know, where like, I'm so freaky deaky. You like listen, because I said it. I'm just a goddess of sex, and you'll want me because I'm so sexual. You know, that kind of bullshit. He's on camera with that kind of bullshit too, man. Dude, it's just crazy. And a lot of it too is they're young, and I think young men somehow like, I don't know, man. Society, there's a lot of things going on, and they're just taught to act that way or something. But it's not cool. You're really just being a fool by being like that, and nobody's like impressed with you. Like, just think about it. You're trying to tell someone you don't know, who you're probably never gonna do it. Like if you're at a party and you're trying to tell all these people who don't know you something super personal that you share with somebody else. Like you get naked and you shove your thing inside them, right? Like, I mean, you're trying to tell people that you're good at doing that. Like they'll never know that. You know, it's just crazy. I would just think, I don't know.
Fun of to close friend because he likes that thing I like too now. Much like his other friend Russell Brand, who a month ago or so surfaced on the plane with Diddy, and everyone else covered in this video or the last few. Well, Joe Rogan only keeps the best of company, doesn't he? Now he has the Innocence Project, Josh Dubin. Yep, the last time we saw them, somebody ended up in a freezer because Joe Rogan's bullshit detector is flawless. You could excuse a false reading, but working with the allegedly fraudulent organization again, there's videos out there that go into real depth on how and why. Does this...
Yeah, look at that Josh Rubin guy, man. Does that guy not... Dude, that guy looks like he's in the mafia. He looks like he's about to steal everything from you. It's just crazy. How are we... Dude, Joe Rogan keeps shitty people around him. Like, absolutely horribly shitty people. Have we not realized that yet? I don't understand. I don't understand how we don't see that. Everybody that's around him, like close to him, all his friends, dude, they all
have to happen multiple times before maybe some further investigation is done by third parties into these cases first, or nah, just have this guy on every time, yet throw Jamie into the 7 pits of hell if he even dares question Joe.
It'd be valuable for the people to know that the prosecuting attorneys are very ethical. Wouldn't that make you trust them more and want to support them more? Wouldn't that be good for everybody if they just said a mistake was made when a mistake was made?
Sheldon Johnson last time, it's just 2 stitches to play down the charges, where he almost killed 2 people, but yep, regardless of good intentions and a broken legal system again, the last guest fully dextered another gang member into their fridge, dressed up as a woman in a wig to throw off CCTV somehow. When The View says Rogan believes in dragons or ABC calls him insane, I'm there to call the media silly and defend the podcast to some extent. But damn, as we learn more and more, Joe really gives them a run for their money on occasion. Look, believe all people, the system only tells the truth, and Joe Rogan is the second coming of Christ. And thank you for watching.
shit right before they.
They're
And what's the
deadlifting.
Brent? You can be the next fucking Expendable 7. You just got to jump into the Scientology. I'd probably check it out.
Joe might
It's
be
bomb-proof,
CIA.
too.
Wouldn't your dad know?
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You know, could it be? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It would all line up. These guys, Joe Rogan shifting. If you see now, you know, Joe Rogan was on the super conservative train, and now Trump is asking questions about Joe Rogan's like remarks that are kind of going against Trump. Is he switching again? You know what I mean? Like he keeps changing to fit all these like societal needs in the entertainment industry or something. Like he's trying to meet the needs of the newest fad, or I don't know. Are we on to something? Is it crazy to say that he's in a little cult skin? No? We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Let me know in the comments.
Don't stay.